All right, folks, so today we're going to take a look at this radio. It's an ANYTONE. It's the ATD 578UV3 Plus. That's a heck of a name for a radio, isn't it? Let's take a quick look and see what we have here. It's a transceiver, and what's really cool about this is that it's 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and 220. 1.25 meters. It has a 1.77-inch color screen, and it's got built-in Bluetooth and GPS. Down here it talks a little bit about the transmit and receive frequencies, and you can see transmits on all of those bands. I don't know why they list 220 not in the middle here. I would think that you would want to do that. But this is also an FM and a DMR radio, and it actually has airband receive, which is pretty cool too. Before we get too started, I did want to say that I was contacted by the folks at Bridgecom, and they asked if I would do a review of this particular radio. And I said, yeah, because one, I like doing reviews, and I like this radio, but I also like ANYTONE products quite a bit. I have 2 of their HTs that I actually love, and they're some of the best HTs that I actually own. So I was very excited to get my hands on this. My box did come a little bit beat up, but that's because my postal delivery guy's a Neanderthal, and he had smashed the packaging. But other than that, let's see what we got in here. And it's got the stuff. Now, I'm going to act like I never opened this up, but I did. And I did take out a sheet for Bridgecom's University, where it had a coupon code for logging in to learn a little bit about these radios in DMR. We'll do a different video on that once I get all that sorted out. But let's see what you get when you get this particular radio as a Bluetooth user's guide. We'll put that right over here. And it says, questions or issues, do not return. Sometimes people buy DMR radios and they have trouble and they assume that it's a bad radio when in fact it's that they're a little bit unaware of how DMR actually works. And so it's really awesome that Bridgecom has things like their university where you can learn about these things. Here's the operating manual. I'll keep this on me at all times. A couple of stickers, which are awesome. One of those will go on the beer fridge probably today. And looks like we've got a mounting bracket right here. But I want to take a look at this radio. Like I said, I'm pretty pumped about this because I really like these radios. When you talk about the screen being 1.77 inches, that sounds like it's small, but it's pretty well lit up. And I find that these are pretty easy to read. I don't think I'm going to have any challenge with it. And you got some control buttons and you got some knobs, and I guess your microphone plugs in here. Let's see what else we have in here. This looks like it's just a piece of empty box. This is going to be our power cable, and you can see it's unfinished, so we're going to slap some power poles on that. It looks like it's fused, which is awesome. And then it looks like it plugs in right here. I guess this is the Bluetooth push-to-talk button, and it looks like it's got some clips on here or something like that where you can put this Velcro in, maybe make a watch. I don't know. I don't know how that works. We got some mounting hardware. And we have a mic mount for that. This looks to be a USB, micro USB, I think is what they call that. Programming cable. Let's put that over there. I don't know. And then we got some other stuff over here. This looks to be like a GPS antenna, which would be handy if you were doing GPS type stuff. Let's take a look at this baby. Here is the microphone, and it's got a full keypad on it, which is nice. Up, down, push to talk. So it looks like you can control most of your radio from the hand mic, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and get all this stuff out of the way. All right, let's take another look at the radio. It looks like we have a power on button. I'm going to get those power poles put on here so we can power this up and take a look. On the back, we have a SMA connector for our GPS antenna. And then we have an SO239 for our regular antenna. They sell these things in bundles where you can get things like the training or antennas or wireless microphones, for example, which is pretty cool. And then we have pretty beefy heat sinks and a fan. All right, let me get this thing powered up. Okay, so I went ahead and put the power pole on here. Ooh, that looked good, don't it? All right, one of the things I wanted to mention is that when I looked at this side of the cable, it only had a fuse on the red or the positive side. When I take a look at this cable, it did have fuses on positive and negative. What I'm going to say is that I would use this cable and leverage those fuses. Don't do what I did. I am going to plug this into a setup that has multiple fuses along the way, so I'm comfortable with that. But if you are a fuse Nazi, know that I'm recommending that you use the dual fuse, because that's the way the manufacturer has suggested that you use this. And I just clipped this off right here. That's probably just going to end up in the parts bin. Let me go ahead and connect that to this wire, and we should be able to get this thing to power up. It says booting, please wait. Let's zoom in a little bit here. And it's telling me to calibrate the date. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to hit confirm because that's how I do things. I'm not so worried about it. There is our ANYTONE logo, and let's go ahead and get this thing off of here because I hate these. There we go. Man, I really don't like those things. Let's get this microphone plugged in so we can see what's doing. I want to make sure not to accidentally key the radio up because I don't have an antenna or a dummy load plugged in. That's probably a bad idea. Let's just rectify that real quick. And look at that, it won't fit. We'll worry about that later. All right, I just used this LMR 400 cable to connect to the back of the radio and then to this dummy load. In the event that we key this thing up, I don't want to have any kinds of problems, issues, or challenges. What we can see in here is the date's wrong, and it's set to digital modes on VFO-A, and I believe I can come in here and I can edit all kinds of stuff by going into the menu. Once I'm in the menu, I wonder if the up-down keys... No, they do not. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm using this to rotate through the menu settings, and now I'm here. So I'm going to hit menu on settings, and I'm going to go to radio settings, and I think I'm going to come down here to display function. Oop, I went the wrong way. Display function. Backlight, that's not it. Channel name, language, menu, exit time. Start display, channel background, foreground color. Well, you could change a lot of colors on this thing. I'm looking for brightness. All right, and it is this backlight setting. So I was able to go in display function backlight. When I hit that, I have different settings here, and that adjusts the brightness. So for example, if we go to 2, it's a little bit dimmer, and it's a little bit easier to read. It's not getting washed out. Let's exit out of here. So let's go all the way up to the top menu. So here's the main menu, and you go through with this knob. You can record, settings, roaming, scan. Let's just go into settings. What I like about these is that you can do settings specific for the radio or for the channel. Going into radio settings, we have voice, display, key. This is for your programmable keys. Other functions, auto power off, TX timer, time out timer, fan open. I don't even know what that is. Frequency step, your analog squelch level. I don't even know what TBST set is. A terrible review. Scan mode, DTMF speed, AM airband. There you go. You can turn it off, or you can turn it to FM mode, A or B. I don't. We're gonna have to look at the menu probably. Startup password. Don't put one of those on. I get people call me and they say, hey, I put a password on and I forgot it. Any way to get it off? And I'm like, call the manufacturer. Let's go back and take a look at our channel settings real quick. So here's for creating new, deleting, channel type. TX power. We got low, medium, high, and turbo. We'll have to check the manual and see what those mean. We'll do a different video where we go through and we test all these power outputs on the 3 different bands. And we'll also do a spectral purity video. Let's exit. Oh, we want to go back in here. So this is all your DMR settings. But the radio is actually pretty easy to program. I have one of the ANYTONE HTs, and I just think it's a breeze to go ahead and program from the panel or from the software. All right, I've been playing around with it. Let's take a look at this. When I press P1, right now it says dig for digital. T1, I don't know what that is. It's probably power level. But if I hit this, it goes over to analog, and it says analog channel 1. Let's go ahead and go back. And when I hit P2, it doesn't look like anything happens. So let's go in the menu and see how easy this thing is to program. I'm going to go backwards. I didn't want to do that. Let's go to settings. And let's go to select radio settings and key function. And let's go to P2 short. And let's change this to TX power. And then I'm going to exit, 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 exit. And now when I press P2, it does, there we go. You can see your power levels up here. So now it's on high, turbo, low, medium, high, turbo. Let's go back to low. And then when I key up, it transmits. All right, so this is from the instruction manual for the 578. Here's the section called transmitting part, and what I wanted to cover is the power output settings, turbo, high, middle, and low. Turbo gives us 55 watts at 2 meters and 40 watts at 70 centimeters. High gives us UHF and VHF, right? So UHF and VHF are 2 meters and 70 centimeters is 25 watts. Middle for 2 meters, 70 centimeters is 10 watts. And for 1.25 meters or the 220 band, 5 watts. And then low is 1 watt across the board. Let's get this thing hooked up to a meter and see what it does. So here is the Bridgecom website, and I'll have a link to this below. And if you take a look right now, they're having a little bit of a sale, or maybe this is a save. This is the radio that I have, the 178UV3 Plus Tri-Band Mobile. And it does come with the $97 training course for free. You can see it's $484. And like I said, I'll have a link, and you can come down here and see all what's included. Here's the what's included drop down. The radio, the training course, customer support, and an accessory bundle. If we go to the main page, I think that you'll see right now they are having the March Mania sale. Shop now offer ends on the 31st. You can check this out, and I think in some cases you can see up to 40% off. And let's click that. And here are the different bundles or packages they have. All right, folks. So what I did is I connected the RS40. It is a SWR and power meter from the SAE. I connected it with our RG400 cable here to the back of the radio, and then we have this going into a dummy load. This meter has 3 ranges, 15 watts, 60 watts, and 200 watts, and we'll switch between 15 and 60 here. We're going to leave the function on power because we're just going to be measuring power right now. Okay, and if I take a look at the radio, you can see we are at 146.52 megahertz, and we're set for low, which I believe is 1 watt. So let me go over to the RS40, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to key up and see what we see. And we see 1 watt, which is what is expected. Now I'm going to go to medium power, and I'm going to key up, and we are right at 10, which I think is what's expected. Let me switch our range over to 60 watts for high. And did I go too far on this thing? Oh, I didn't switch it. There we go. Now we're on high. And when I key up, we are just over 20 watts there. One more push of this button takes me to turbo. And we are at about 55 watts, which is, I think, what was in the document. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my frequency. First, I'm going to take my power level back down to low, and we are going to go to the 1.25 meter band. All right, so let's key up on low and see what we get. And that's like 3.5 watts, which is higher than it said it was going to be. Let's go to medium and key up. And that is almost 15 watts. It's probably like around 12 or 13 watts, which is higher than it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to switch this to 60. And I'm going to change the power output to high, which it's not rated for in the document. And when I key up, let's see, that's like 10, 15 watts, somewhere right around there. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the 70 centimeter band. And let me set this to low so you can see where we are. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to key up, and we should be around 1 watt. It's about 1.5 watts. Let's go to medium power or middle power. Whoa, it's like 12.5. All right, now I'm going to hit the button and I'm going to go to high. I'm going to switch this over to the 60 watt scale. And that's about 21, 22 watts. And let's switch to turbo. And right at 40, which is what the document says. I'm not upset by the readings that we're getting. It seems like it works pretty well. All right, so what I want to say now is that I'm super excited to have the opportunity to continue working on and testing this radio for Bridgecom. So thank you very much for sending this to me. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching, and stay tuned for more videos on this particular product in the future.